Hi, everybody. If you're speaking to me, it looks like you're on mute, Patricia, but
Oh, hello. So
hi.
that,
Hi,
hi.
there you go.
Did you hear what I said about introducing myself and the
No.
committee members? Okay, then I'll.
No, but that sounds great.
Hi, I'm Patricia Laria, Chair of Schools and Education. To my
Hi.
left is Mara Fitzgerald, Vice Chair, and then I'll have you guys introduce yourselves again.
I'm Emma Smith. I'm a committee member. Juliet Kay, committee member. Ian Berger, committee member.
Welcome. All right, so I'm looking to see if we have anybody online that is from our committee. I don't see them present, but I do see Kimberly Wilson from Great Oak School on Bleecker. I don't see any other. Okay, welcome. And without further ado, because we are cut tight for time, after my meeting is a Human Services Committee meeting, so I want to give Superintendent Colin McGuire the floor. Go ahead.
Sure. Thanks so much for having me, and I apologize for not being there today. It's parent-teacher conferences for my son, and those are virtual, so it's just easier to do here. But yeah, thanks so much for having me today. I want to share this a few things in regard to our schools and specifically in regard to the schools in CB2. We had a really, really strong opening here in New York City Public Schools. That seems to be a sentiment that's echoed in every location, knock on wood, that you find, both from the central level, district level, and in individual schools. We're really excited to have around 2,100 teachers here in District 2 and pretty close to 22,000 kids. So far, we are up about 1,000 kids from the end of the year last year, and that's great. We want to both honor our new class size reduction and continue to be a popular option for schools in our district or for parents and families in our district. We still do have some vacancies that we are looking to hire, about 60 vacancies across the district. 15 of those are teaching positions. A lot of those positions are for paraprofessionals, both classroom paraprofessionals, one-to-one paraprofessionals, also a few office staff members, and some other support staff in schools. The teachers that we're looking to hire really cover a variety of different positions. A good number of those teachers are special education positions that we're hiring for, but really across a bunch of different areas, classroom teachers, as well as just regular grades. But again, not so many of those across the district, but we're continuing to get those positions filled as quickly as possible. In our district and specifically in relationship to PS3 41, PS3 40, 297, and is PS 130 in your district or is it not? It is. Okay, got it. And PS 130. So all of the schools that are in CB2 actually did experience a small enrollment increase, except for PS 130. Chinatown continues to be a part of our district in which we are seeing growth decline. And there's a bunch of different reasons for that, but we're beginning to work on some discussions around, what the future of schooling and schools looks like in Chinatown, because we want to make sure that whatever families are looking for in schools that we're able to provide it. So that's just the very beginning kernels of having some discussions in that neighborhood. So PS 130 is currently down about 17 students from the end of year last year. But again, PS3, 41, 340, and 75 Morton are all up in terms of enrollment. 75 Morton actually has the largest number of students that they're up, about 18 kids, which is great. The schools in our district have demonstrated strong performance on both the ELA and math exams. PS3 had an ELA proficiency of 70% in ELA, 71% in math. PS41, 90% in ELA, 92% in math. Again, these are the New York State exam scores. PS340, 85% in ELA, 76% in math. MS297 or 75 Morton, 43% in ELA, 31% in math. We know that the PS 75 Morton has served a lot of students from families seeking asylum in our city. 75 Morton continues to be the zoned middle school for the Row Hotel, which is really one of the last shelters that's part of Project Open Arms. So they're continuing to enroll some families who are at the Row Hotel, as well as other families into programs there at 75 Morton. And then PS 130, 77% proficiency in math. I'm sorry, in ELA, and 78% proficiency in math. We saw a lot of strong gains across the CB2 schools in both the ELA and math scores this past year. We're continuing to implement and support Wit and Wisdom as a core curriculum in our elementary schools, and our teachers feel really good about going into the coming year, not just with the additional support and continued support from the district and city, but also just that they are becoming so much more comfortable with the curriculum. They know how it's laid out. They're able to include parts of their curriculum and teaching, parts of the school culture that are really important to them in lessons and modules. So we think that it's going to be a great year for our students in that curriculum, and that our teachers are just going to feel so much, because their teachers feel so much more comfortable working with that curriculum. There's a few updates, additional updates that I want to share in relationship to the schools in the district. So we did have a couple of new leaders join our schools as assistant principals. Talia Berger is a new assistant principal at PS 340. She had served as an interim acting assistant principal, or I'm sorry, an acting principal for a year up at PS 198 in East Harlem while the assistant principal was on leave. She brings a lot of really strong experience both in serving students with disabilities, and she's been a strong member of the data team that the school had at PS 198. And Teresa Soto is a new assistant principal at 75 Morton. Many of our schools did apply for additional funding to support their schools. 75 Morton, when they put in an application for reduced class size coming into this school year, they added a component of a new assistant principal, a second assistant principal to the building. And the idea there was really to help to support the bilingual programs. I'm sorry, the bilingual education that is growing in the school as the school looks to determine whether or not bilingual programs, whether in the form of dual language or just continuing to support ELS, is going to be a part of the ongoing work at 75 Morton. So we welcome both of those new assistant principals to our district and to CB2. In regards to curriculum, 75 Morton is one of a handful of middle schools in our district, 6 of them to be specific, that are beginning to pilot the middle school version of Wit and Wisdom. This is by no means a mandate coming from our central office, nor coming directly from the district office, but we did have a handful of middle schools, 75 Morton, MAT, Wagner Middle School, Spruce Street. Several of our schools are piloting the middle school version of Wit and Wisdom. And we are supporting that with some direct coaching days provided both by the district team and by the publisher. And then one other update that I did want to share in regard to our schools is that coming into this year, PS3 was able to convert one of their pre-K sections to a 3K section. 3K continues to be a program both across the district and in CB2 where the number of seats that are close to the home zone is smaller than the demand. And so we're trying to meet that demand. I'm sure that people have heard and that we are offering, as a system, offering 3K seats, but they might not necessarily be where families want those seats. They want them close to home. So PS3 was able to convert a pre-K to a 3K with the support of our district team. And all of those programs are now filled. Lots of very, very happy faces, families, and kids there at PS3. Another big thing that you're hearing about in the city schools is around the internet-enabled devices or the bell-to-bell cell phone policies. Honestly, there's not a ton to share about that because things have been going so smoothly so far. Of course, if you're hearing about any challenges in regard to the implementation of the cell phone policy, please reach out to your principal or reach out to me. I'm happy to try to help to support any family or school that needs help with that. But it's been very, very smooth. Of course, there's not too many kids in elementary school that have cell phones or Apple Watches, internet-enabled watches and devices. So it's been pretty smooth, and most of our middle schools and the Clinton School High School did have at least the beginnings of a system around bell-to-bell suspension of use of cell phones. So it was a pretty easy lift for us in the district. Couple other things that I just want to share. We are continuing a new series that we started a couple of years ago called School Spotlights. These are opportunities for us to bring the community together, both within the school, community leaders that are in the school area, and we're going to be extending this invitation to you as well as members of CB2. On November 20th, we are going to host a school spotlight at PS3. A school spotlight is really an opportunity for us to shine a spotlight on the school, give them the chance to talk about the celebrations that they have in their school community, the challenges that they have, and it's a way of bringing together community conversation in and around a school in different neighborhoods. So we're looking forward to that on November 20th, and we'll make sure that you get the invitation for that. We are going to hold a community coffee at PS 130 a little later on this year. The community coffees are different than school spotlights in that the district is at the center of those visits rather than the school specifically. And you can kind of think of it as like a mini town hall type thing, where different community members can come out and we can have a conversation about things that are happening in the community, things that are happening in the neighborhood schools. We're bringing together all of the principals from the schools around Chinatown for that PS 130 community coffee, and give them a chance to talk a little bit about their schools and the challenges that they're facing. And again, thinking of it as kind of a mini town hall that's centered on a specific neighborhood. And with that, I am happy to close and answer any questions. And thanks again for having me and giving me the chance to speak.
Thank you. That was very robust introduction to the school year. I'm glad to hear that things are going well, especially with the ELA and school attendance being up in our area. You kept mentioning PS 340. That's down in Battery Park City. I think our footprint doesn't go that far. It's just PS 341, 75 Morton.
PS 130.
130 is the one on 6th Avenue and 16th Street. So it's
Yes, which one?
340? Yeah, it's
the
just
fountain.
north.
It's the fountain.
Yeah,
340
it's just north of our
boundary.
boundary.
Yeah, because your northern cutoff is 14th
Yeah,
Street.
yeah,
it's not-
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, well, thank you. We'd like to hear.
Sure,
what's
just in
going
case you
on
want to hear anything
Yeah.
about that one. Have any friends north of 14th?
Typically, we get questions from our committee first, so I will leave it to this room. Anybody have questions for Superintendent Kelly? No?
I do.
So 75 Morton was initially slated to hold or the DOE, it was supposed to be 600 students and then it became 800 and ultimately the DOE said 1,000 seats in the building, 100 of which would be in the D75 school. I'm looking at the current enrollment and it's like hovering around 300. So, I mean, the good news is no problem, fulfilling the class size mandate there, but, we need kids in those seats. I mean, the point of the school was to have children learning in the school. What are the ways that, you guys are thinking about attracting people to Morton? Or perhaps a merger of some sort?
Yeah, I have you heard anything about that? I'm not sure.
You think?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. It's about a quarter of the original capacity of what's available there, and we really do want to use that space, not just to grow the school, but there have been some other superintendents who have been sniffing around the district, wondering if there's a place where they could incubate a new school, and we want to make sure that that is a District 2 school through and through. So I just like backing up one little step is, in the district is about 1,000 students short of what we were at our highest levels in middle school. And so the truth is that right now families are not choosing to send their kids to 75 Morton in great numbers. And so we do really need to rethink the space, rethink the configuration, and consider what it is that we can do moving forward. As you have likely heard, we did begin a conversation with the SALT community last spring. It was a conversation really just to see what their sense of the possibility of a merger is or was. And that conversation is going to need to reopen. Right now, but not necessarily in the form of a merger, but we're going to need to start talking with both the Morton community and the Sauk community again, because each is facing a challenge, their challenges are different, but each of them is going to be facing a challenge. Sauk not in the PS40 building not being large enough to accommodate class size reduction. And it has never been big enough to serve the number of families that do select that as one of their top choices. And 75 Morton definitely we need to think about that so that we can really make great use of the space and grow the programs that are there. 75 Morton started with this a program that I feel very, very comfortable talking about because it was something that, I embraced when I was a principal, which is that of having lots of different arts programs for kids. And the community feels strongly that that's something that they want to bring back and grow. The spaces, there are all kinds of facilities there that could very easily be supported with the growth of additional arts programs, bringing it back to what it was when it was first started. But the truth is that right now we don't have as many families from the neighborhood selecting the school. And the enrollment of families living in temporary housing is a bit uncertain. So we are going to have to return to that conversation, and I would love to have the opportunity to speak with community members about that. We wanted to get the school year started. We wanted to get into the fall, and then this is going to be a topic of conversation for all of us, because there's a great core of teachers and families that are there at 75 Morton, and we really want to build on that and make sure that it's a strong option for families in the district. And so I can't like speculate necessarily in terms of saying like what it would look like, because that's something that's just going to have to come from conversations with various community members. But it'll probably be some tough conversations, but I'm very open to doing it because the school does need to thrive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Second question, what supports are in place? I know we did this year before last. We were talking about supports for our new neighbors, for the new students coming in, the Ls, and what is in place for them. The scores there are considered not great, but the fact is these are English language learners. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
For reading, so what are we doing to better support those kids, those great new kids?
Yeah. And are you speaking specifically at 75 Morton or anywhere in the district?
Well, specifically about Morton now, just
yeah,
as a
yeah. So the addition of the second assistant principal, when Principal Kofi put in the application for reduced class size, she did add an assistant principal with the intention of having her continue to support not just the L programs, but the arts and enrichment programs there at the school as well. Claudia herself has a really great background in serving Ls as well. One note about the test scores is that kids who come into the system in New York City, they are exempt from the New York State exams for the first year, from the ELA exam for the first year. And so it's really kids who have just been here a year that are, and have been at the school for a year, that are taking that exam. The school now has 2 teachers of Ls. The school has partnered with both our district team. We have a member of our district team who is specifically centered on building foundational literacy programs in the middle school, and she is camped out at Morton to help them to not just implement and support their core curriculum, but also implement some of the reading and language skill needs that are necessary at the lower grades. The school does have 2 L teachers on hand, but the job is significant, and her work previous to coming to District 2 in Queens was with a population of students that had a lot of Ls. And so we're working to implement a very structured program for supporting kids' foundational learning needs, as well as adapting the new Wit and Wisdom curriculum. That was one of the things that that influenced both the school's selection and our support for that selection, was that there wasn't as coherent a reading and writing curriculum as needed. And so bringing in a published curriculum like Wit and Wisdom was one of the steps that we thought we could take to help to build and support the literacy growth in the school.
Thank you. I think we'll take questions from our attendees or anyone in the room.
I have a question.
Oh, you have? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm happy to hear all the data about efficiency, but how much of a spread is there on that data? Or do you have a lot of kids who are almost proficient and a lot of kids who are super proficient, or what do you see beyond the averages in the data.
Yeah. Yeah, I just shared the top line for sure in the just for the purposes of getting some information out there. But there continues to be significant disproportionality between our students with disabilities, our English language learners. Our students with disabilities are performing about 15 to 20 points lower on the ELA exam than our non students without IEPs, students who are not English language learners. So there's definitely a real need there for us to continue to support them. We're approaching it through two different strategies. We've got this first year implementation of a strong science-based, research-based core curriculum. Our centering now is focusing on the pedagogy, focusing on the teacher moves, what are teachers doing in the classroom every single day to support kids who are behind, as well as the implementation and growth of these intervention programs where kids, in addition to what they're learning in the core curriculum, that they're participating in small group intervention. We've had small group intervention. Small group intervention has been a part of schools and schooling for a really long time. But in this newest and latest iteration of the work, we're really doing a much better job, I think, of diagnosing what kids know and are able to do, assessing their strengths and needs and matching it to the right program. So those are kind of like the two approaches that we're taking. We did see, on a positive note, we saw some really strong gains in the upper grades, not in elementary school, but in middle school, on the New York State Regents exams. We saw an increase of 17 points in regard to the percentage of students with disabilities who passed the Algebra 1 Regent. And passing that Regents exam can be a real challenge. Excuse me. Can be a real challenge for students with disabilities. So we feel good about that and think that part of that is due to the work that we've been doing in middle school math for a few years.
And at the higher level, people who are beyond proficient, is there anything interesting happening there?
Well, is there anything interesting happening there or in regard to data?
What do the data say?
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of those students too? And how are they being challenged and taught and all that?
Yeah. I mean, we have tons of students who are performing well above grade level. And there's a couple of things that are happening that are out there that I think are interesting. One of the ways in which schools are going about supporting the stronger emphasis on intervention students or intervention instruction for students at who are struggling to meet grade level standards is they're implementing a specific period multiple times a week. You might hear it as an intervention period or a WIN period. WIN stands for what I need. That's kind of like a common way that people are describing it. And when we ask the question about, what do I need as a learner, we also have to answer the question of, what do I need if I'm a really strong mathematician or a really strong reader or writer? And so the WIN periods are periods in the week or in the day. Some of our schools are doing it every single day, in which students are homogeneously grouped. And for our stronger readers, writers, mathematicians, they're engaging in book groups, they're engaging in literary writing, they are engaged in a math Olympiad that we're putting into place across the district for the first time. And so the good news is that our really strong performers continue to perform really, really well in the district. And we are utilizing this new programming and scheduling to help to support their needs as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, before we let you go, I would like to ask if there's any questions from anyone in the room, any attendees for a question for Superintendent Kelly? No, if not, I will say thank you for joining us. As always.
Sure. I want to come back in person, so don't be
Yes,
scared.
We want to see you in person.
yes.
Okay, good.
I'm sure there will be another opportunity to have you here.
Okay,
So
I
thank
will
you
be there.
again for
No
making
problem.
time for us.
No problem. Take care.
Bye, thank
Bye-bye.
you. All right. Now we're gonna shift to our second agenda item, which is district needs. This committee,
District needs.
I see a lot of new faces here, and then I see some new faces online.
Yeah, whatever principles we have, we should elevate.
Are there any principals online?
Oh,
Attendee?
she's gone.
Who's gone?
Wasn't the one from?
Timberly Wilson?
Yeah,
She left.
Oh.
Okay. All right, we have a meeting scheduled for her, one-on-one. I see that we have Nicole Barth, who's our council rep for council member Eric Botcher. She's online. Say hi, Nicole. But for everyone else, the second agenda item, we've been reaching out to all of our schools within the footprint and asking our local schools, what can we elevate for the next fiscal year, what they need, within the schools. Usually they ask for a lot of technology upgrades. They ask for a play yard upgrade. They ask for many different things within the school, maybe air conditioning, that would go under capital or expense. And around this time of the year, our committee, we have to rank the schools of what we're going to prioritize first, and then elevate that to our elected officials. So for fiscal year 26, I have some good news. And I had shared with our committee before that the Harvey Milk High School, which is within our footprint, they wanted technology upgrades and they received 128,000 from Carolina Rivera for upgrades. So that was good news. 75 Morton received 125,000 for a play yard upgrade because they were with the school, the outside area wasn't functional for the kids in that area. So they have that money to play with. PS 41 received 135,000 for a play yard upgrade.
From who?
Eric, Councilmember Eric Botcher. PS3 received 50,000 from Councilmember Eric Botcher for technology upgrades. So those are the schools that we've been, we reached out to them and we elevated to them, and so those are the schools that were chosen. I'm going to share our list that we're going to rank and vote on tonight. Let me share my screen. And we'll vote on that in business session, but I'll talk about it now in the public session. Where did I put it? Why isn't
I
it?
don't see it. Do we have permission to, no, it would have told us. You should have told us.
Yeah, maybe could you share a screen? No.
Are you on, is it Safari? Or is it?
I'm in,
Is that Safari?
yeah, it won't go on with Safari?
That's what it says, Safari. So if that's your Safari, just open your Safari, even though I don't know why you can't see it. Why is it saying no? Try it.
This one? No. I don't know why it's not doing that.
Zoom updated. And now you have to change your settings. That's why. No,
Updates like.
you know what, we can talk it.
All right, let me just talk
Let's
it
talk
through.
it. Yeah, actually, why don't we go over the things that are not things that we've asked for a million years? Is there anything new? We typically ask for, and look at our district needs, but we typically ask for technology.
Mhm.
Infrastructure stuff is always bathroom upgrades, cafeteria upgrades in this neighborhood because of the size and configuration of our schools, sometimes a gymatorium.
Mhm.
You know, there are many opinions on gymatoriums, but
Yeah.
we do ask for them because some of our schools have to have them.
Yeah.
But was there anything new or interesting in the district needs this year?
Well, what is it? The Manhattan School for Career Development.
Ask you about that.
That was, I did not know that was in our footprint.
What is it?
That one, they're housed in City Ave School.
Yes, I did. We did know that.
You did know that?
We knew
Well,
that from cannabis.
oh, well, I didn't have a contact, so I have a contact now.
It's a D75 school.
Yeah, it's a D75, and they're asking for a health and wellness studio, multi-purpose recreational space for students to participate in movement and mindfulness. Student success lounge, space to promote literacy, digital citizenship, and success on assessments, electrical reconfiguring, adaptive seating, and technology will be needed. And sensory hallway, built-in sensory activities in hallways to help students self-regulate as part of our SEL support for students. So that D75 school is asking that. I put that principal in contact with Councilmember Botcher's office. So Nicole is aware. Nicole Barton's, someone has their hand raised. Okay, could we elevate Nicole?
Or actually, I can make her a panelist. Is
Yeah.
that what you mean?
Yeah.
Either way.
Hi, Nicole, whenever she comes back.
She'll be back.
She's coming.
There she is.
Oh, there she
my
goes. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I'm sorry, I realized I should have kept my mouth shut and not put my hand up till you're done with your whole list, but I did speak to 721 after Patricia introduced me and asked me to speak with them. And we actually had a member of the School Construction Authority come to the school, and that first item, which is their, what was it again? Was it like their store kitchen thing? What was it, Patricia?
You mean 751, the Manhattan School for Career Development? They wanted a
Yes.
health and wellness studio, a multi-purpose recreational space for students.
Is it 751? I thought it was 721 inside.
Those are both schools.
Both schools,
They're two different places.
Oh, yeah,
And they're both on our
cafeteria
list.
and lobby at 721. Yeah.
all right, 721 is asking for accessibility upgrades, sensory-friendly design elements, age, and where do you see cafeteria?
Renovate the cafeteria and lobby.
Oh, yeah, renovate the cafeteria and lobby.
Is that the kitchen?
That's 721.
That's 721. Okay, there was some kind of, they did have an SCA person there. I'll see when they introduce, I send them like in January, asking them what their kind of wish list is. But I just wanted to say that a lot of people ask for sensory rooms, or not, but like sensory hallways, and School Construction Authority said, it's just, you can buy, things that you can stick on the wall. I mean, there's lots of stuff you can't do in a hallway because you can't impede any kind of egress, or you can't, have things sticking out. And they said that if you have, they do sensory rooms. And so that would be like an empty classroom, and they just rip it down and they totally rebuild it. But hallways don't really work. But they say, there's so many things out there that if the school wanted to kind of develop their own little sensory hallway, that, it's really easy to do that.
Oh. So will you tell the principal when you meet them what SCA said to them?
Yes, yes, I will. This is just to confirm again, this is 721 inside City School, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, then when we'll talk to them about specific items, they made a SCA visit to talk about kind of a kitchen and a store. That seemed to be their big concern for the summer.
Oh, all right. Well, that might have changed since we last spoke. I guess we need to.
Okay.
Okay.
Could we possibly switch that from capital, or let's not take it out of capital, but maybe we can add it to budget.
To this.
Since, like, I'm looking at these pictures of these sensory hallways, and it seems to be a lot of stickers and artwork as opposed to, obstructive or, projected things. So maybe some supports in purchasing those things. I'm sure there are companies that make them and come out and install them.
Okay.
Maybe add it to that. I don't know. Thoughts?
Good idea.
All right. Nicole, do you have any contact at New York High School or Chelsea Day? I have not heard from anyone from those schools except, they keep asking for the same thing because they share the same building, that they want the gymatorium, the floor to be redone.
What is, I'm sorry, Chelsea Day School?
What is it? Chelsea Career and Technical School.
Oh, okay. What's the address on that?
It's inside City As.
No, it's New York High School. The New
Oh, New York High School we're talking
Yeah,
about.
on 6th Avenue.
Yeah.
What is it, 6th Avenue and what? I think that might have gone, it's right near the Spring Street Park, right?
Is that right?
It's the one.
Dominic? It's right across
Yeah, I
from
think
the door.
we were,
that's by your school?
yes. We were redistricted out because now our district we used to go down a canal. Now we only go down a spring, and that's like a block below us. So that's no longer in the district. That would be Marte's.
That would be who?
That would be Marte, Christopher Marte.
Oh, okay. All right. I will follow up with him then. All right. But I was happy to see Councilmember Roger awarding all those play yard upgrades to a lot of schools in our area, which we're happy for, especially 75 Morton.
Yes, 75 Morton had received some money before so that they could kind of expand the playing space. They have a lot of weird planted stuff and some stuff they could actually make it much larger, and they didn't have enough money. So the money that went in this year, SCA asked us to come in and take care of the difference so that they could cap off and start the project. So we're really happy to do that.
Yeah, and we're really appreciative of that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank the councilman. Yes. The other, I think that covers all the schools that what about PS 41? That was what we asked for last year was, I guess, technology upgrades, but they got a new play yard. Like,
we're pretty, you guys ask, it's kind of an odd process because you guys ask and then we send out like a wish list. We send out a document where they have to put their top 3 choices. And I think I'd have to go back and look, and we talk to all the principals in the schools and we review it, but they didn't have enough money to finish after the construction for the facade at PS 41. They didn't have enough money to actually finish the play yard, which right now is a total wreck because it has all of the equipment in it. So they wanted to make sure they're going to be able to fulfill that. And I guess they were doing okay, on tech, that they were prioritizing, and I think they went with the play yard. Although we gave out a lot of tech gifts this year. I think PS3, you said, Patricia? I think we gave 50,000 tech,
yeah,
right?
they got, yes. But then what is baffling to me, because when I reached out to the principal, she's asking for an ASD Horizon D2 program.
I don't know what that is. What is that? That doesn't sound like a capital. That sounds like a program. Is that software?
No. It's for a sensory gym. She wants a sensory gym. So you're saying that sensory stuff that SCA is talking about, that's probably money that could be set aside to put up on the wall? Is that, because that's what PS3 is asking. They want.
Oh, right. Yes, they did ask us for that. Yeah, that's, unless they're doing, they want a sensory gym, unless it's classroom, I think that they are converting into like a sensory room, lots of times OTs and stuff like that. and PTs in certain schools, they have that off of it, and they're usually not that large. Other than that, you know, it has to be $50,000. And as far as sensory,
That's not,
if
I
you're
was just thinking the limit.
yeah, if you're buying things to stick on the wall, it's not going to be 50,000, but if there's other sensory objects you want, like certain chairs and stuff, that isn't capitally eligible. It has to be, you know, it has to be like part of the building, something you can depreciate. So, you know, something will last for 5 years. Like in a library, if you say you want bookshelves, you can't get bookshelves unless you are renovating the entire library. So that really wouldn't be eligible.
Do we know if they have room to do a full sensory room?
At PS3?
Sorry, I was still looking at pictures of sensory hallways. Is there a way we can advocate for this, particularly for the school that really needs it? And bring it up to 50 grand, like, I don't know.
If that was something, if they were converting and making a sensory room, I know that SCA does that. I don't know if they have an extra room that they can use for that. But a sensory gym, it sounds bigger, but you can't, like I said, that sounds almost like where you open a closet and you take out a lot of stuff and you can set up like a sensory gym. It has to be a room that is converted for sensory means.
Yeah.
So, but we would be happy to help the schools with whatever they want. It's their priority list when they come to us. And if we can do it, their number one wish, you know, we try to go for that.
All right. Thank you, Nicole.
I'd also like to add that I really like Keen's new haircut.
Don't we all?
Yeah. All right, thanks, Nicole. I think that covers all the schools that Councilmember Botcher covers. And now we're gonna go to our expense, and
Okay.
I'm gonna talk about that, and then we'll go to business session and then vote, okay? For expense, our number one was to allocate funding to reduce class size citywide at an estimated cost of 137 million for hiring teachers, covering only about 1,300 out of the estimated 10 to 12,000 teachers needed, prioritizing first elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools within District 2 within a 5-year phasing period ending in 2028. The second one is to allocate funds for NYC Men Teach to recruit, train, and retain talented, non-traditional public school educators in order to close the representation gap between our students and those who teach them. Number 3 was to allocate funds for teacher training and for reading and writing curricula aligned with the science of reading and structured literacy practices. Number 4 was to allocate funds to maintain the most recent baseline funding for arts education, which was about 141. I guess I have to change that, fiscal year 2025. Allocate funds for SEEKR, which is the City Environment Quality Review process for funding, siting, and building new public schools. And 6, allocate funds for an array of before and after school activities across all grade levels that are free of charge to students and families. So that's what we have on our expense. And with that, if there are no questions on that in the room, I'm gonna close this session out and go into business session. And business session, people in the room cannot participate. But before I do that, there is one person who wanted 2 minutes to speak, because in business session, you can't, 2 minutes? All right. All right, come here, come to the mic. And introduce yourself.
All right. My name is Terry Taft, and I'm going to sit down here. I'm from the Adoptive and Foster Family Coalition of New York, which is a long name, and it's about families who are taking in kids. And so adoptive families and foster families and people raising their grandkids. There's a lot of families, and I don't know how many in the district, that are doing this. And it's different than raising kids from birth. And we have been around for 50 years helping. We started out as adoptive families, talking to adoptive families, and have grown into an organization right now where we're providing evidence-based support for families and helping them navigate the process of taking care of kids. And I'm with the signature program, which is called AGAPE, which is Greek for love. And it stands for Adoptive and Guardianship Assistance Program for everyone. And it's an intensive support program. And I have brochures, I'm gonna leave them here. And so we think it's important for this committee, which is doing such phenomenal work. Congratulations, folks, you're doing great things. We think it's important for you to know the resources that are available to kids. And I'm gonna try to find County McGuire and go talk to him too.
Yes, yes.
So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer, or
Where does the funding come from?
state, OCFS, Office of Children and Family Services. Plus private, our program is funded fully by the state, but there's other programs that are funded by various sorts of philanthropies.
Okay. You reached out to our district manager because we do an e-blast to the entire district, the
Okay.
entire footprint of our
All right,
community board. And if you send him something like this, it goes out, via the email list that he has.
okay,
Okay?
great.
His name is Mark
Mark,
Diller.
yeah, I have it, I mean,
You have it?
it's on the website.
Okay, yeah.
So
All right,
I'll find it.
well, thank you for
Thank you for
enlightening
your
us.
time.
Yes.
You have a pleasant
Hi.
evening, folks.
My name's Amy. I know you're starting the other meeting, but I'm sort of interested in what on the local parent and adopted child. Starting at PS 41 resident. So I'll just reach out and introduce myself otherwise.
Okay,
Hopefully
well,
be
thank
back
you for
outline
coming.
otherwise.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. All right. Take care. Thank you. All right. Bar, I shared it with you. If you can share on you don't want to share.
I'm not on the Zoom.
You're not on the Zoom?
Do
All
we
right.
need, why do we need to?
No, because
share?
I want to see you guys have it on,
Share it with them.
I'm looking at the list.
you're looking at the list, but Sheen doesn't have it on her thing. You want to look
So
on
print
it?
it. I'll go grab
Very
it.
small font.
Okay,
I can read it.
Okay, fantastic.
all right. All right, so now we're in business session and
We're ready.
you ready?
Ready.
So, okay,
I vote yes.
Yeah, it looks like a good list.
I have one thing I'd like to add.
go ahead.
In expense, it can be number 7, but we should add allocate funding to expand 3K.
Oh, say that again, Alex.
That's my
Expand.
my pitch every year.
Okay.
Yes. So allocate funds, to expand 3K program offerings within the district or citywide. But
Citywide.
Isn't it
3K
district
program?
needs?
Yeah, it doesn't
No, but
matter.
we actually.
I mean,
do
some of this stuff is
citywide.
citywide,
Yeah.
right? Like the 137 million is, I think.
But
And
then,
the
do you
No,
want
don't
to,
put citywide
Just
Just say program,
expand to
period.
3K programming
there.
offerings, yes.
but then, do you want it to be the last one or you want it moved up?
I
in
don't,
the list?
We're gonna vote on them
Oh.
anyway.
it's,
People will decide.
Don't we vote the order?
I
We
guess,
vote the order at full board.
no, at the exec,
What
at
is
the next
that?
exec meeting,
I-
we vote. But then you have to tell me how important this is that I have to fight for it at exec.
well,
And we,
I lost last year, but I think at the end of the day, it is the only thing right now in our district that we are not meeting the demand for, right? Like as the superintendent said, enrollment is stagnant or down. I mean, when he said enrollment was up and then he said it was by 18 children, I was like, okay, let's not have a parade, but
okay,
come on. So I think the only thing he explicitly said was that we're not meeting the demand with 3K. So I think like if we think about our schools and the system serving our families, that to me is an area where we are not currently serving our families because there aren't enough seats.
okay.
Like at PS 41
Swap it with number
alone,
5.
Swap it with number 5.
there were 25 siblings for 15 seats.
All right.
Do we have any numbers? Because people like to hear
Yeah,
numbers.
We do from that lady's presentation over the summer. I don't remember her name, but I have her cell phone number.
Okay, all right.
I could send you 1 or 2 numbers, but yes, I would
Alright.
say like we continue to outpace. Demand is not matching
Okay,
seats
demand is not matching.
versus like,
Okay,
To meet demand.
To meet
To
demand?
meet demand. That's really good. I like
It's,
that. Makes
it's
it
the
stronger.
seats are not matching the demand.
Yes, that is
That's
Allocate
right.
right.
funding to expand 3K program to meet demand.
Yes.
NYC
Beautiful.
DOE. Okay, and I have it at,
Think, direct.
all
To the
right,
point.
and we have it at number 5,
Sure.
and I will fight for that at exec. All right.
Yeah.
That looks good. So you guys like the order?
Sure.
Can I just ask about number 5, or well, what?
In
now be
expense?
Number 5, number
Which
7.
one? Which one, Naga?
It's now number 7, isn't it?
number 6 now, if we're slotting.
But what is it? What is it?
The CEQR one?
Oh, the seeker one?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know that. Yeah, the seeker one. I guess what would that funding be doing? And is that a DOE thing, or is that like a broader, like, environmental thing? I'm actually just not familiar with this process, but I'm curious if you could just expand on what that.
Oh, what that
incentive
is?
Fund, yeah.
It's the DOE. It's, I think they are the ones that go around looking for, buildings.
Yes.
Well, you know about it. You
Yes,
used to work.
yes,
Do you want to
yes,
talk
yes.
about it?
Yeah, so there are people that do district planning and space planning that are within the DOE that are always looking for new locations.
Mhm.
They then partner with SCA, School Construction Authority, which is a separate agency.
Okay.
But basically, once the location is determined, which happens at the DOE level, because the DOE has to be the one saying, this is where the demand is.
Okay.
And then once that sort of like allocation of like demand, seats, cross-section, you know, the humans and all of those pieces come together, then it gets handed over to SCA.
Okay, and so the idea is that we're asking for additional funding to conduct the environmental
This-
review
yeah.
of the building?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yeah. Which is like, those are.
Awesome, thank you. I was just trying to clarify the
Space
line
planning is
item.
a fun agency. I mean,
Oh
a
my
fun
God, that is
team.
wild.
Yeah.
Fun. I like
But
it.
okay, and this,
And
Is
it's like
this-
75 Morton, that building, the parents were the ones who found the building and
Right.
yeah,
sold
okay.
it. And he was a huge part of that.
You were one of those parents, and
So,
you were one of the
yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that group, but it was the parents that were,
Yeah.
that found that building and told the city, you need to
Yeah.
do something
Into the
about it.
space. Yeah, because I think the reality is that it is harder than it sounds to like find the land itself. That's the hardest part of the whole
Right.
process.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
that
I
sounds
was
good.
working on the pre-K center rollout citywide, and that was the hardest thing. Like we would just have random people driving around in cars.
Yeah, like just looking for
Looking
a
for
space.
land.
Yeah.
Okay, that's helpful, thank you.
And sometimes we have land that's promised
Yes,
and it's snatched away from
yes,
us.
yes, that happens.
Crazy.
That does happen.
Is that in there?
No. Well, you want me to write that?
I thought it was in there. Legal school?
Oh, yeah, it's on their capital.
We never take it out.
All right, go back up to capital.
Capital.
Number,
But I also
Number
think,
8.
you know, in terms of priorities, are they listed in terms of priorities? Because I
Yeah.
think
Um,
number 2 on expenses is more important. I think it should be number 1. On
say that again, Keith?
the men to teach.
Oh, so you want to move that to,
Number-
But,
I think that is the most important.
I think it's the most
all
important.
right, so.
I agree.
order that
I also
for
think at
now?
the end of the day, the class size thing, I am personally convinced with the downward trends of enrollment, it will sort itself out over time. So I agree with you.
So switch that order, okay, I'll switch the order,
Number 1.
I'll switch the order,
But
and,
Actually, we got, did you have an email from Lainey? See what's happening.
all right, I'll switch the order. And then going back to, so I did that, so I switched it, so I will talk about it at exec
Great.
later in October. For capital.
Yeah.
The other one where the land was snatched away from us, that,
Took our land.
that Mara's talking about was number 8, allocate funds for the
Yes,
creation of
yeah.
100,000 square foot school to be built
Yes.
at or near the corner of Bleecker Street
Yes, yes, yes.
and LaGuardia Place on land reserved for such use during the 2012 rezoning undertaken by NYU. I always have that
Yes,
here,
yeah,
so if I'm not around or we're not around,
Yes.
it's always
it's
there.
always there.
As a,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
just stick it to them.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, so it doesn't go away, so it's always there. What else? And
Potentially
Go ahead.
different question. So I'm interested in the under enrollment at 75 Bleecker. And is there anything?
Sorry,
More, something more.
Yeah, Bleecker, right, number 8 Bleecker. I'm interested in like, some of the schools in the district are over enrolled.
Yes.
75 is under enrolled.
Yes, they're working on that.
But how would this fit in with the enrollment disparities across schools? Like, it seems pertinent, it seems that we need this other school, but I'm just curious how it fits into the mix and how folks move around so that like the communities are actually getting served. Do you know what I mean? I think you hear me, yeah.
It's a very complicated conversation.
Yeah.
Which we plan to tackle at some
Yeah.
point this year.
Yeah.
But it's so nuanced.
Yeah.
That there's no easy answer.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not just like a number of schools question.
No.
It's like
No,
a
it's
deeper.
seats. And I
yeah.
think like that's where it comes down to like, in that scenario, you likely wouldn't want to add more middle school seats that would then hurt
Yeah.
75
Yeah.
Morton, but then there's also like schools that have outgrown their spaces.
Absolutely.
Right, and so like, there's always that push-pull.
Okay.
I mean, it seems simple, like we've got an
No,
empty
it doesn't
building
seem
and a school
simple.
that needs space.
It doesn't, no, it's not.
But
I'm
it's
just like,
not.
No,
Yeah.
no,
It's some whole other thing.
yeah,
so in your opinion, then it still makes sense to advocate for the school.
Yes.
That was promised.
for it to be a school.
For it to exist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
It's helpful.
yes.
Thank you.
Because, I mean, we're doing this work for families that haven't even moved here yet. You know?
It's such a good point. Yeah.
And the future children.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, no, but you're right, and these processes are so long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From a timeline horizon
I mean,
as well. Yeah.
That's the thing about being on this committee and doing this work. I'm looking at you, team. We know that a lot of the work that we do, our kids, well, now our kids were never going to benefit.
Yeah,
from any
my
of the
kids are
work
out
that we've done. And the work, I mean, even when we got started, the stuff we were working on back then, our kids never benefited from, but
For sure.
you know, you do the work for future generations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's why I'm wearing the shirt.
I know.
It's not, I'm not in a
so with that, are there any, does everybody, I mean, with the schools that got a lot of monies this year, for what they're advocating for FY '27, they may not get it.
Yeah.
The money may go to another school.
Yeah.
And I noticed you were down, which.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we still have to add
Yeah.
for our job.
No, I think it's
right.
And one day,
One day everybody gets it.
oh, is that, did you call for an adjournment?
Yes, I'm calling for.
Oh, second.
Oh, no, wait, we need to vote.
We need to.
Oh, we
vote.
didn't vote?
Yeah, so are we all
Emotionally voted, but I don't think
Yeah.
we
all
literally.
in favor
We
of the
felt alive.
order of the way this list is and with the addition and the reorder with what Keen said and
Yeah. Yes, the 3K.
I vote yes.
3K.
and we're all in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Nays?
Unanimous.
Okay, awesome.
Nays.
Thank
And,
you.
well, I would like to call for an adjournment of this meeting because we wanted to be quick.
Yeah.
And we were.
Well, we all have another meeting. I'm
Put
gonna.
around.
Yeah,
Like,
so
get the
thank you.
I don't think we should stop
Thank you,
until
everyone.
7.
Thank you for attendees for coming. Please email if you have further questions and we can forward it to the superintendent. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Bye. Yes.
Yes.
See, I did it in an hour.
That was
You
very
guys could have.
efficient. That was great.
But she did a half hour. She